Hold up. 50 Cent is stacking up wins again, and this time it's all about a major Hulu documentary series reportedly in the works about his life. At first, people thought his $75 million Hulu claim was just an April Fool's joke, but now reports say it might actually be real. The three-part series is expected to cover his rise from Queens, surviving getting shot 9 times, and becoming one of the biggest names in hip-hop with millions of records sold worldwide. While some people are debating the numbers and calling it hype, others say 50's legacy speaks for itself, and the conversation around him just keeps getting louder.
This Eminem though.
Well, if you listen to the line before that, I pointed out how he disrespected all his friends, bro. I went down the line. He goes at it with everybody who he was friends with, he went at. But out of all of those friends, the only one you never disrespected was M. So that's why.
I mean, I've never heard him disrespect Dr. Dre.
He disrespect. See, I don't like to get into this, man, because, you know what I'm saying?
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man.
I've never heard him disrespect Dr. Dre.
He disrespect. See, I don't like to get into this, man, because, you know what I'm saying, some of these individuals I'm cool with, you know what I'm saying? I consider myself cool with. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I don't even need to get into some of that. But I think you see for yourself what this dude does. Young Buck is signed to him. He ends up in beef with Young Buck. Game is signed to him. Ends up beefing with Game, or whatever their deal was. I don't want to speak on Game situation. I don't know the details, but I know they was working together. He ends up going at it with Game. Once again, of course, the who helped him get where he at and doesn't even get credit for it, which is weird as fuck to me, Lloyd Banks. He disrespects Banks for a living, on the regular. Whenever you feel like it, he disrespects Banks. These are your day ones. You talking about Dr. Dre, I'm giving you Banks, I'm giving you Buck, I'm giving you numerous individuals, Game. Keep going, by the way. I'm just gonna stop here because it's a waste of time. He does television shows with people, he end up disrespecting them. You disrespect all these people, but the one person you never disrespected, there you go.
Papoose is still out here being salty about the fact that 50 Cent hasn't dissed Eminem yet.
Well, you could also say that Eminem did the most for him than anyone in his life.
Oh, so that's what it's about? It's about who do the most for you? That's how you determine your respect?
I mean, I think that that's part of it. I think you can't just ignore that part.
Nah, I don't judge respect on what you do for me. I'm not one of those type of people. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
real?
Nah, I don't.
Okay, so you mean to tell me?
It's a little opportunistic.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that someone doesn't give you the opportunity and the platform and $1 million when you don't have it and catapults your career into where you are today, that should not be a basis of respect?
But so that means he deserves more respect than your day one, Lloyd Banks? He deserves more respect than a guy like that?
Well, look,
just because
man, I think when it comes down to those situations, and that's really their relationship, I think it's very hard, and you've experienced this yourself, to break an artist and to have a successful record label is one of the hardest businesses in the world to be in. I've said this publicly, and I bet you would agree with me, that it is a better business decision to buy scratch-off lottery tickets than to try to break a new artist. Am I right?
Well, you got to listen to what you're saying now and pay attention, because you know, you're talking about lottery, which is based on luck, right?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
I just want to point that out, though.
Hold up. This whole conversation is basically breaking down why 50 Cent would even diss Eminem in the first place, and the panel is pushing back hard on that idea. One side argues 50 has a pattern of falling out with people around him, former friends, collaborators, even label mates like Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, and Game. So they're saying if he's willing to clash with all of them, why would Eminem be treated differently? But the other side shuts that down, pointing out something important. Eminem is not just another collaborator. He's one of the biggest people who helped elevate 50 Cent's career in the first place. So disrespecting him doesn't really fit the pattern people are claiming. Then the debate shifts into respect versus loyalty, whether respect should be based on who helped you succeed or just personal loyalty over time. And it turns into a full argument about business, relationships, and how hard it is to build artists in the industry. In the end, the whole thing turns into more of a debate than an actual confirmed diss, with people just interpreting behavior, not facts.
90% of the people who try to break a new artist end up losing all the money on that artist.
It happens a lot of time. I wouldn't say 90, but I would say very close.
I think what 50 did at the start of the first few albums in terms of G-Unit and everything else like that, by putting them in position, hopping on a lot of their songs. You know, I remember, he even talked about this, and I agree. His first album was on fire, right? It went diamond. But instead of putting out a second album, he put out the G-Unit album. And I think he got behind a lot of these guys, and he got on a lot of their big songs. You know, Tony Yayo's So Seductive, his biggest song, that's 50 on the hook, right? That's 50 all over the song. You know, Game's first album, 50 originally was on half the songs. They had to actually take out some of his, because he was on so many songs with Game that they didn't want it to look like a collab album. But 50 really contributed to a lot of these dudes' success.
And the fact that Papoose thinks he's making a lot of sense in his head when he points out that 50 hasn't dissed Eminem has left many rap fans with a head scratcher. What reason would 50 have to diss M? Like, this is a legit question that even Papoose couldn't answer, as we all saw him shuffle when Vlad brought up Dr. Dre. And not only that, but the likes of Banks, Yayo, and Young Buck haven't even done close to what 50 did for them when 50 basically sacrificed his fire to light them up early on.
Hold up. This whole debate is about whether 50 Cent would ever diss Eminem, and people are split. Some point out 50 has a history of beefing with people around him, like Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, and Game, so they think no one is off limits. But others say Eminem is different because he played a major role in boosting 50's career, so disrespecting him wouldn't make sense. In the end, there's no real diss, just fans debating relationships, loyalty, and business dynamics in hip-hop.
People are jealous of Jay-Z and Beyonce because they've been winning for so long. You know, don't get me wrong. Jay-Z needs to start thinking about what legacy he wants to leave within the black community beyond music. It's for him to be the richest musician in the world, I believe, black or white. He needs to leave a legacy. So whether he's going to open a college, a school, a bank, a hospital, a franchise of supermarkets, a distribution network, some manufacturing plants to give us jobs and provide us with the resources we need. I don't know how Jay is going to handle this, but he's getting older. Although still a young man, he ain't going nowhere no time soon. But if he leaves this earth having not done anything for black people except pay for some activists to get out of jail and pay for a couple documentaries to be made about the victims of police violence, that's not going to be enough. As a billionaire, you can't just pay for a few Black Lives Matter activists to get out of jail and pay for a couple of documentaries about unalived American Africans who were taken out by the police. That's not enough for a billionaire.
Hold up. And speaking of building schools, people online are bringing up that same activist again, questioning where things stand with a school project that's been talked about for years. Some are pointing out that donations have been collected over a long period, but there hasn't been clear progress or a completed school seen yet. That's why the topic keeps coming back whenever the name gets mentioned. But anyway, back to the main point.
That alone, Art, Tyler Perry has to think about that legacy. Oprah has to think about that legacy. Rihanna, Kanye, Tiger Woods, now Dr. Dre. And given the role Dr. Dre played in Snoop, and I love them both, they my brothers, but given the role they played in helping that Bill Clinton crime bill get passed with the Chronic and Doggy Style album coming out right around the time that the crime bill floating through Congress, they owe some reparations anyway. I think all rappers owe reparations to the black community. All black rappers, successful rappers, multi-platinum, multi-million-dollar earning rappers owe reparations to the black community. Internal reparations because of the role they played to reduce the black excellence that our ancestors were so dedicated to. The drinking, the smoking, the sex, the violence, the promotion of conspicuous consumption, a promotion of mass incarceration. Gangsta rap is the soundtrack for mass incarceration. Gangsta rap is the soundtrack for mass incarceration. It was yesterday, it is today, and it will be tomorrow. And the gangsta rappers need to be held accountable. I think the black church needs to pay reparations for all the money they've taken and have given us nothing. I think black actors owe reparations. I think the black fraternities and sororities owe reparations for all the success that they've enjoyed, but not really have done much, substantially speaking, for the black community. To be honest with you, we all owe ourselves reparations. And that's why I'm a bigger fan of internal reparations, Art, than I am external reparations. We can do far more for ourselves together than the white man could ever do for us from the outside.
Hold up. While some people are criticizing an activist over a long-running school project, others are shifting the conversation toward a bigger idea about billionaires and responsibility. The discussion turns into a debate about legacy, with some arguing wealthy people don't always focus on impact, while others believe you don't need extreme wealth to start helping your community. In the end, it becomes less about one individual and more about how power, money, and responsibility connect.